How many times have you said this will only take 20 minutes and then you look up 3 hours later and you're like, where did the entire afternoon go? Kind of wondering what even happened? What have I been doing all day?
Yo, yo, yes.
Yo, yo, it's Alyece, say it right, no cap. ADHD CEO, yeah, we run this track. Systems that slap, brains built different. We make sales in our sleep, yeah, the hustle's efficient. This ain't fluff, nah, this is strategy raw for the ADHD. Minds breaking every old law. Hit subscribe, don't miss a single show. We're running on dopamine, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Or the opposite. You think something will take all day, you knock it out in 45 minutes. If you have ADHD, this happens constantly. And it's not because you're bad at estimating time. While time blindness is a real thing, it's because your brain literally experiences time differently. And today we're talking about something called temporal building, which is a very fancy way of saying how ADHD brains perceive and structure time. And more importantly, what you can do about it. So, if you're new here, I'm Alyece Smith. I have ADHD. I've built a multiple six-figure business, and I'm a TEDx speaker. I'm about to show you why every time management system you've tried has failed. Let's dive into it. All right, first, let's get into what is temporal building. So, neurotypical brains have what they call sense of time or time sense, right? They can feel time passing. They have an internal clock. It's pretty accurate. ADHD brains, unfortunately, we don't have that. And I didn't make that up as neuroscience. Okay. We experience time in two modes, now and not now. And that's it. Something is either happening right now or it might as well be a million years away. And this happens because you can't start a project until the deadline is tomorrow. You need dopamine deadline. You procrastinate until panic sets in, right? Someone's coming over. Oh my gosh, I got to hyper focus clean. Or you hyper focus for 6 hours and can't focus for 6 minutes. This makes time blocking feel impossible. You can't control your schedule. You're always either early or catastrophically late. Your brain isn't broken, it just builds time differently. Now, the problem with traditional time management and every productivity system out there, it assumes that you've experienced time the way that neurotypical people do. Just time block your calendar, put it on your calendar, estimate how long tasks will take. You can't, right? Or start working on it a week before the deadline. But when your brain doesn't have a time sense, these systems are pretty much useless. Probably already know that, right? You can't accurately estimate how long something takes because you don't experience time passing consistently. 1 hour of creative work feels like 10 minutes. 1 hour of boring admin tasks feels like 6 hours. Time blocking ends up failing you because your brain doesn't recognize 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. as real time constraint. It's just later, not now. And starting early, it's like, why would I start early when the deadline is not here yet? Right? This is why you failed and have a planner graveyard. Every time management course just doesn't help. Every productivity system collecting dust, right? They weren't built for how your brain works. What actually does work is time anchors. So we're going to get into that. So instead of trying to manage time, we need to build time anchors. And here's what that means. Anchor one, external deadlines. So your brain responds to that urgency. We want to use that. So this looks like setting artificial deadlines before the real deadline for yourself, right? Tell someone else there's a deadline so there's accountability. This is often why I put things out on social media before I even have a plan for them. And I know that if I told someone, I am going to hold to that. Okay. Break big projects into smaller deadlines, not just one big one. So right now, my book, Flow First Thinking, if you missed the TEDx, you can watch that. I'll link that in the show notes. But obviously with a TEDx, I only give you 10 minutes. So I had to put everything in an actual book. But with the launch, I had to set weekly deadlines. Chapter one, write chapter two, write chapter three, design the cover because I wouldn't hire a cover designer because graphics are my favorite thing to do. But I had to break them into small deadlines, not just a big one. Okay. Second thing here with temporal building is building a second anchor called momentum building. So instead of time blocking, you want to build on momentum. If you are in flow on a task, again, watch the TEDx to understand what flow is, but you want to keep going. You don't want to stop because that block is over. If you can't focus, switch tasks. Don't force that time block. We want to work in energy sprints, not time sprints. So, the reason productivity systems don't work for ADHD professionals is because they're focused on discipline, not dopamine. And our energy is usually tied to our emotions. And so if your momentum is low and your emotions are low, your energy will be as well. So no matter how much you try to force it into that time block, that does not work. Right. Anchor number three is task pairing. And this is time blind tasks paired with time aware tasks. So something like I'll work on this until my coaching call at 2 p.m. The call is the anchor, right? Or I'm going to film this content until I have to pick up the kids. Pickup time is the anchor. I'll plan my week right after Sunday dinner. Dinner is the anchor. I'm going to put laundry from the washing machine to the dryer when I make my coffee in the morning. So every morning while my Keurig's heating up, that's what I do, right? That is a time anchor. Anchor number four is visible timers. So not necessarily how to manage time, but how to show you time passing. So you probably on your iPhone or somewhere around you, but they need to be visual, okay, not just your phone. So set alarms for transitions, not just deadlines. I love my Alexa show because it literally shows me and it's right here next to my desk. But this helps you with understanding and seeing the time passing. You can create external time awareness since your brain won't do it internally. All right, my real system. Here's what I actually do for deep focus work. So I don't time block. I identify when I naturally want to work on creative tasks, which is called my spark times. The F in flow stands for find your spark times. A lot of times for me, that is between 8:30 and 10:30ish AM, and sometimes I get another spark in the afternoon. But I protect those windows. I set a timer if needed so that I don't take the whole day on that. Just to not always a stopping point. If I'm building something like a landing page or a funnel or a website, I know that's obviously going to take longer than 25 minutes. But I will set a timer for 25 minutes and continue to do that so I can see how many timers have passed. If I notice four 25-minute timers have passed, and I'm still on the hero section of that, I'm not getting anything done, right? It's just to be aware. If I'm in the flow, I keep going until that natural stopping point. Usually, when my brain says, all right, I'm done, I've hit an anchor like bedtime, right? For admin or boring tasks, I pair them with time anchors I can't ignore. So I'll do invoices until, my 2 p.m. call. Or I personally hate calling people on the phone. One, because I talk a lot. So I know if I get on the phone with someone, it's going to be a 2-hour phone call. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for that. But that's not one of my favorite things to do, especially if it's something like calling to schedule a doctor's appointment. So I will take those boring tasks that I will put off forever and I will pair them with an anchor like, okay, I know I have to drive my daughter to softball practice, Tuesday at 5 o'clock. It's a 45-minute travel time. So I'm going to make those calls back to back to back to back while we're traveling in the car. I'll answer emails until I have to make dinner. So maybe if it's something I've been putting off, like emails, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go through these emails until dinner time. I give myself that time anchor, but that external event creates that boundary so that because my brain can't create it internally. For projects, I like to break them into micro deadlines with accountability. So again, I use the book example, but instead of I'm going to launch this course by May 1st, it's okay. I got to outline. It's due by March 1st. I give it to my partner, my business coach, right? Model one, I'm going to record that by March 22nd. Module 2, I'm going to record that by March 29th. Each deadline has an external anchor telling someone about it. Body doubling is a real thing, and it allows you to have that accountability that you need. For transitions, I like to set alarms 15 minutes before I need to switch a task. So if I know that I've been working on something creative, I have a call coming up today, I will set a 15-minute alarm before that call so that I have enough time. I don't lose track of time. I don't miss the call, but also it gives my brain enough time to step back from the creative. I love creative graphics and all of those things. So a lot of times I'm frustrated when I have to stop them, especially if I'm in flow. So that gives me a 15-minute buffer time. Not because I naturally need to stop, but because my brain really needs that warning that now is about to come, not now. Okay. What you need to understand is you are not bad at time management. Your brain just experiences time differently than people who wrote all of these books. And I want you to stop trying to force yourself into time blocking. Stop beating yourself up for bad time estimates. Stop thinking you need more discipline. You need different systems, build time anchors instead of time blocks, use external structures instead of internal awareness, and work with your brain, not against it. So, this is exactly what I teach in Flow First Thinking, the book. I just launched the pre sale at the time of this recording. Do you want the full framework for building systems that actually work for ADHD? It is on pre-sale right now through January 28th. There's a ton of bonuses that go with it, including a masterclass where I'm going to show you exactly how to put this in your life. The link is in the description. But you are not broken. You just need to build time differently. Till next time, make it simple, make it social, and make it awesome.